As truckloads go, they don't come much bigger than this. An 8.5 metre wide, 100-tonne mining dump truck, destined for Queensland's booming coalfields.
105 tonne. Then the wheels, they're about 6 tonne each. We'll put a couple of those on each flat top trailer. And the cabin and the handrails, there's another 4 tonne in those, they'll go on another truck. So there'll be myself with a chassis and 2 accessories trucks. That's just to get the chassis to site. And then there'll be another truck later on that'll actually have the dump truck part.
The load can only travel through the city at night, putting pressure on an already tight deadline.
And that's why we have to leave Brisbane at midnight, because we've got to sort of be out of town, off the road, before the people get out of bed.
The hauling truck is an 80-wheel flatbed, and mechanics have discovered a problem with one of the sets of brakes.
Right, mate, so you've got the Allen key bolt in there. It'll be chopped out, yeah. 80 tyres on the ground here and a set of brakes for each of them. And you have one that blows out, you can take out a couple more with it.
Deadline or no deadline, it'll need fixing before they can leave the depot.
180 tonne going down the road, and we're dealing with general public. You get someone that just pulls straight out in front of you or something, you want to know that you've got enough braking power there to pull the whole load up. Stop out and have a look how bad that thread is inside the housing. I'll be happy when the brakes are all going, because then I know when I'm sitting up the front of it, I've got that pedal on the ground that's going to work.
The pressure on Mark to get away is increasing all the time, and a locked tool cage is the last thing he needs.
Hey, Darren. Where's JJ? My job as a driver to make sure when I leave the yard, my gear's right. Every time I walk in the shed to get a bolt or a clamp or a screw, am I supposed to come in and say to you, JJ, I've just got to make sure this is the right size, every time? So out of a 10-hour day, I'm going to get 2 hours work done.
To make matters worse, heavy rain is forecast for Brisbane and en route.
All the boys are loaded, ready to go. Just doing the final checks, making sure lights are on, banners are on.
Thank you very much.
Mark not only has to negotiate the roads, he also has a load of bureaucracy to deal with.
This is all my permit paperwork, all the different things we've got to go through. There's police permit, Energix's clearance for the wires, Ergon Energy's clearance for the wires, Optus leads, Queensland Rail, main roads permit for all my weights. Lets me know any traffic changes, who I've got to ring on the way, and the roads I have to take. And then my dimensions, 7.5 metres wide, 5.2 metres high and 35 metres long. Just file it.
To help him, he'll get a police escort and pilot cars.
Should be page 72 or something. Leaving town's stressful. You're stressed, it's come up, blood pressures are up.
I'll duck around on his left, watch his left if you want, Jim.
And we head up the highway. I've then got 2 or 3 pilot vehicles with me, a couple of police cars. It's my job to make sure they're doing their job and they're in the positions that they have to be in for road safety.
Your left-hand side, make it a metre on the pole, feed the electronic board.
If there is traffic behind us, the buck stops with me. It's not up to them to just call the shot and get the traffic around and tell someone on the radio, yeah, go around if you want, mate, we're only going slow.
Want to clear all this traffic? Yeah, that can be a good idea, man. Can you copy that?
You have to be 100% confident and you have to just say to yourself, right, that's it, I'm in charge. I'll take advice from other people, but the buck stops with me because if it goes pear-shaped, I'm the one they come and see.
The midnight start means there'll be fewer cars to worry about until morning. But the dark and numerous roadside obstacles seriously challenge Mark and his team.
Yeah, metre on the left. Always right. Metre on your left, slow it down, mate, slow it down. Nice and straight through there, mate. No. Just want to straighten him up a little bit there, mate, if you can. Hold that line, brother.
When I'm driving up the road, I might as well not even have mirrors on my doors because all I can see is the load. And just can't judge the distance between the back of the load and the pole that we're going to sort of sneak past or something like that. So yeah, here's your eyes down the back.
Yeah, he relies on what we say and he's just got to try and pick his line. Righto, bend it. Other thing is with these self-steering trailers, they track differently to a traditional trailer. So as you turn the wheel and the prime mover bends on the turntable, it hydraulically operates the wheels and they turn. So that helps you get around corners. Otherwise, you'd never steer something like that with 10 axles.
The convoy has hardly travelled any distance when it hits trouble.
Copy that wide load heading westbound on the Logan. Yeah, mate. Yeah, you got a lane closed right ahead of you, mate. Probably about a K.
There's an enormous road laying machine taking up 2 lanes.
You're gonna have to move it, mate, eh? Yeah, well, they got half the road taken into a pavement, so...
The convoy should have been warned about the blockage before they left the depot.
Well, if you could get onto them, please, mate, because we're coming through.
Do you just want me to get out in front and see what's going on up there?
This road ain't big enough for the both of them.
Mate, you know we're coming through, do you? What else we got down behind you, mate?
Shit, a bit messy up there, eh?
The convoy grinds to a halt. The team need to work out whether there's enough room for the wide load to squeeze past the roadworks.
Yeah, 8.5 wide coming through there, brother.
When we get our permit given to us, itemised on the permit for main roads is where the roadwork sections are. So you'll read it, you'll go, beautiful, no roadworks down the road here. And you'll drive out and bang, there's roadworks. They just neglect to put it on the paperwork. So then we've got to try and deal with them. And they're trying to say to us, well, you shouldn't be here. And we're saying, well, we've got a permit, we're coming through here. They want to get their gear through to keep the work happening. Well, while we're sitting there, they can't get past it.
Oh, so once you get up there, you can't go off anywhere anyway, eh?
Because the roadworks out there at this width and weight, which is not ideal, but that's what we've got to do to get out of here.
You just have to suck and see, brother. We just have to suck it and see.
Off the road, guys.
Got to either let us through or pack their gear up and go home for the night. I dig my heels in the sandy ground on the road. My paperwork says I'm coming through, that's what I'm doing.
The stalemate ends.
I'll just step him out, mate. Yeah, righto, mate. We'll give it a bit of a go.
After some rushed and rough measuring, Mark decides there's just enough room for him to get by.
So you're going to have to get the wheels right over to the left-hand side.
We don't knock them out. The boys are just going to move them up against the guardrails.
Yeah, it's pretty stressful for the boys in the truck. There's a lot going on.
We'll clear this line on the right.
As you can see coming through there, it's there's not a lot of real estate left. It's 2:45 now. I think it's about 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock, we've got to be on the other side of Toowoomba.
The delay has cost them precious time.
I'm behind time now. It took a little bit longer than expected to come out of town.
If the wide load is not out of the urban area by sunup, they risk breaking their curfew, and the police could order them to stop.
Yeah, we shouldn't really be going this way. This is sort of out of the way we need to be going, but part of the permit restrictions. And the road works out on the Ipswich motorway. We have to come out this way.
Yeah, just back off there, mate. Stay going crash for us, would you? Because I'm only just coming to the first roundabout now.
And their progress is about to be slowed again by a series of low bridges.
We'll actually pull the load up, lower the trailer to the lowest possible height we can do, and just travel underneath it like 1 kilometre an hour, if that. With someone standing up on the top with a two-way radio talking to me, guiding me under that bridge. Some of those bridges we get down to less than 10 millimetres. There's no room for error.
Yeah, you're clear, buddy.
Truck's running good, trailer's following nicely behind me, all the steering's okay. So, no, we'll be here for a good night now, we're sort of getting out of town.
Mark's optimism is soon cut short. Still within the city limits, one of the tyres on his 80-wheel trailer goes flat.
Nail gone through it there. I've blown the tyre.
Not what you want with 100 tonnes sitting on top.
We've got a flat tyre up here now, so we're just trying to get up the road here a bit where we've got to, up to Dinmore where there's a reasonable sort of a parking bay, so we can get the trucks off the road to change this tyre.
While you're on the road, you're doing the maintenance. If there's a tyre that's gone, you change the tyre. You can't afford to just park up and wait a day for a mechanic to turn up, because while you're parked there, there's pilot vehicles staying with you and there's police pilots with you. You're paying them per hour. It could cost you $3,000 in outgoings for the escort vehicles that sit with you.
By early morning, they've reached the base of the Toowoomba Range. To get to the top is a punishing 6-kilometre climb up a 1 in 6 gradient.
Hopefully we don't have any issues.
It's so steep, Mark will need a second truck to help pull him up.
When we get to the bottom of the range, we hook the block truck on, double our capacity of traction. Same truck as this, with a big counterweight steel block on the back of it. We'll both get going together, just full steam ahead.
Double the power and double the traction to overcome the treacherous combination of a big truck carrying a mega truck up a winding mountain road. The pull of the two trucks combined is a massive 1,250 horsepower, dragging 180 tonnes. Once they start, Mark doesn't want to stop. Other road users are going to have to get out of his way.
Hook into those trucks, get going, mate, or I'm just going to wheel out.
Coming through as fast as they can. Chemical wide load driver.
Oh yeah, whatever. But yeah, the stress builds up, and you've got to be on the ball for these things. You can't just assume that it's hanging off the back of me, I'm okay, but your steering wheel's in your hands. If it moves going up the road, it can throw your steering, it can tip you, it can chuck you anywhere it wants to. It'll push you down the road.
Mark's trickiest task is coordinating the gear changes between him and the other truck.
As we're going up the hill, I sort of felt my truck pulling back a little bit. So we're sort of then trying to time the gear changes. All right, Scotty, grab one, mate, hook in. You've got to time it so that you're both not changing gears at the same time, because one truck's got to be able to hold the whole lot while the next guy will drop a gear. He'll then take up the load. So you've got plenty of grunt there if you do need it. If one truck breaks traction, the other truck's got enough up its sleeve that can sort of help out and hang on to it until the other truck's right again.
It's a gruelling climb.
Right at the moment, we're sitting on about 9 kilometres an hour.
And it doesn't take much to make it treacherous.
They've done a little bit of roadworks up there, well, I've just heard on the radio. You don't know what sort of condition they've left the road. Dirt, sand, anything that could lose that friction between your tyres and the road. You're driving up the road, you don't know about it until you're actually here.
The engine is burning fuel at an alarming rate.
At the moment, I'm getting 120 metres to the litre on diesel. Fuel's a big thing, you've got to plan ahead. You've got to know how far you're going to get and just to know the roads. You don't want to run out of fuel coming up here.
While his truck is pulling well, Mark's concern now is the state of the road.
On a hot day, the road will actually bleed. All it is just the heat of the asphalt, the oil's coming out of the asphalt, and as all the trucks and whatever's driving across it, it seems to just massage the road so that it ends up slippery. Once the road gets soft and you've got too much drive weight, your wheels spin, you don't actually slide the tyres on the top of the asphalt, you'll dig holes in them. In turn, you then dry bogging yourself on the road.
It's Mark's job to get this mammoth load safely to the top. He's one of the youngest drivers to take on this huge responsibility.
I'm towing one of these module trailers. Apparently in the industry it's looked upon that you must be an old bloke to drive one. The average driver in the transport industry is around 50, 55. I'm 32. Stress levels, they're up a bit while you're going up the hill.
If something goes wrong, there's a lot at stake.
90% of the loads that I cart are mining equipment, up around the 100-tonne payloads. These machines that we cart now, these Caterpillar dump trucks, are basically the backbone of the mines. They're everywhere, every site's got them. $7 to $8 million will buy you that machine. The trailer that it sits on, coming behind me, over $1 million. The truck that's towing that trailer, $400,000 to $450,000 just for the truck. So you're driving up the highway, dealing with everyone else. We're just going straight down the middle of it, aren't we? You got sort of $9–10 million worth of gear just poking on the highway.
Mark has finally conquered the mountain range, but it's been slow going.
It's always a sign of relief when you get to the top.
It's taken nearly 10 hours for the convoy to travel 150 kilometres. That's 15 kilometres an hour. Slow progress, and there's still 500 kilometres to go. On the uphill stretch, the trailer and its giant load took over the entire road. Now, cars and trucks want to get past.
If there is traffic behind us, the buck stops with me.
Just coming up on you now, mate.
Yeah, a lot of the times on the road you're calling 8 metres. A lot of them don't understand what 8 metres is, so you find yourself calling 6 brick pallets wide.
8 metres wide.
If you say it's 6 brick pallets wide, they go, geez, that's big.
Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it. You have a wonderful day. Yeah, you too, buddy.
The escort lets him know how much traffic is behind, but it's Mark who decides who passes and when.
They call me, I say to them, okay, leave it with me. I then look around, check it out, check the conditions, make sure the sides of the roads are good enough. Then call the lead car to make sure there's no traffic coming at me. Mate, make sure that it's all clear. Then call upon the police car to make sure that he's on the wrong side of the road, and if any traffic does come, he can stop them. We'll get across onto the wrong side of the road and we'll run all the traffic behind us up our left-hand side so that they stay in their correct lane. Sometimes get a bit confused and trying to get them to come around you when there's a double white line, even though it's under police direction. You get one car that's a bit hesitant, we can't get anyone around. It's only then, when I've got those all okays from everybody, I'll then relay it to the rear pilot car and say, safe to come by. 500 off the overtakers, Stewie, I am.
Yeah, we'll get all the traffic around up here, Nick. We got to back it right off.
And then he has to count the cars to me as they're coming. So as they come past me, I know if he says there's 9, I'm counting through. Bang, there's 9. I then call the police car that's in front to let him know there's 9 coming up behind him. Which car's the last car that he's going to have to deal with, so he can be alert for it. Otherwise, we could have one up the arse of the other one.
Thank you very much for that. You've done well. I'm very proud of you.
Thanks, Pop.
No problem.
We've just got to make the job happen. And your job is a lot easier when other people on the road can appreciate that. We're not out here to piss everybody off and cause their, make their day bad. We're all out here to try and do a job together. Thanks for your patience there, old mate.
Because of their height, size and live cargo, cattle trucks get priority on Australia's roads. Even Mark King's oversized load gives them a wide berth.
Stock crates we give right away to all the time, home. Like they're about the only truck you sort of will get off the road to get around. They're heavy, they're loaded high, so your centre of gravity is a long way off the ground, and as you can see the shoulders of the road, they're nothing flash. So you get a bit of angle on the side of the road and yeah, crates will just fall over. And hey, we all like a steak at the end of the day, so we've got to get them down. Oh mate, that stock crate up there, is he loaded?
Yes, man, ain't loaded.
No, bloke, no drama, just do what you can, we'll work around you. There's not a great deal of room for him to go. I've got my rear pilot, he'll talk me through, give me a clearance that I've got between him. And we'll just back right off here and we'll run across with my tyres just on the edge of my shoulder, and we should get through here, I'm guessing, with probably about a foot. A bit of luck, we'll have about a foot speed here. Nice and slow, nice and steady, keep an eye on everything.
Mark King is worried about the heat.
I'm happy when this thing's off the back. Now we've got 40 k's to go.
The temperature has passed the 40-degree mark, and that's doing dangerous things to the road surface.
It's been a very hot day out here today. The road's starting to sweat. The oil's coming out of the asphalt, and as all the trucks and whatever's driving across it, it seems to just massage the road so that it ends up slippery. Crash, when we go up through here, mate, just give us a heads up if you can sort of see any pretty savage tracks out the back of me, would you?
All right, yep.
So we've already lost traction a couple of times. Half a turn on a tyre can sometimes pull you up in a big hurry.
Copy there, old mate. Approaching the pilot vehicle.
We get roads sweating pretty bad up here at the minute, and it's a good pull up a hill, around a corner. So we'll just see how we go.
Not yet.
Mark's worried his rig's 175-tonne weight and 650 horsepower engine could start ripping up the melting road from underneath him.
Right now it's bleeding real bad. Bit of wheel spin there. Not a great deal I can do. There's no sort of real spot I can go because it's bleeding both sides. But we're giving it our best crack at the minute, and it is losing traction. The wheels are leaving pretty good marks on the road. Probably about 2/3 up the hill at the minute. We've got a little pinch at the top here. That'll be the one that lets us know if we're going to get over the top. We're fighting this road at the minute. They don't want to let me up.
King's heavy haulage truck is now just down the road from the coal mine, where this massive dump truck will begin its working life.
It's time, we're backing down the gears here, and we're about to swing on in, and here we are at the Rolston mine. Now let the fun begin, trying to get this thing off the back. When you get to site, even though you're on their mine site, they come to you and they say, what do we need to do to get this off the back? And you then call the shots as well. Even though it's their show, when you're on their site, they still run it by you because it's your gear that it's sitting on. And it's your responsibility until it's totally off your truck. Yeah, all good, man. Good. Thanks very much, man. Appreciate that.
Fully assembled with its 4 massive wheels back on, the machine will weigh nearly 170 tonnes, and it'll stand more than 7 metres high.
Once we get this machine to the site, we need a tyre handling machine, we need a tyre fitting crews, and that can take up to 3 to 4 hours.
The simplest way to get the truck off is to reattach each of the wheels so it supports itself. But putting a wheel on one of these is no small job. Each of the wheels weighs 5 tonnes.
I'm racing the sun at the minute. I've got to get this off this afternoon. So I need about half an hour of daylight driving to get me to town so I can have a shower, refresh, good night's sleep, and then make a mile tomorrow. If the sun goes down and we're still here, I'll still be here in the morning.
Once each wheel is securely attached, it's time for the final act of the journey. Sliding the trailer out from underneath.
people might look at it and go, oh, it's a dump truck. But when you see them working on the mine site and you drive past and you look at it and you go, I took that there. I got that out of the middle of a city, took it out of the middle of a mine. So you get a bit of pride just seeing, you know, the end picture. Happy days, last scrap, and I can head to the gate, sign out, and it's pub time. Well earned cold beer for the day. The minute you drive out that gate at the mine, you look in the mirror and you see an empty trailer come behind you, you go, hey, job's done. You're proud of doing it. My next job is go home and mow my grass at my house, so I'll be home.